There we go. We are now joined by Martin Truex Jr., and we're going to go straight into questions. And our first question will come from Bob Pockris. Go ahead with your question, Bob.
Yeah, Martin, thanks for joining us. There was a situation on Sunday where Chase Elliott was having trouble hearing his spotter. NASCAR felt like they had enough communication to leave him out there. But I'm curious, do you consider having communication with your spotter as a safety issue and something that NASCAR said they would black flag somebody if they felt like they didn't have it? Is it something that deserves a black flag?
I don't think so. I mean, in my opinion, I think, it's kind of a tough one to judge on there. I think the spotter safety part is more for what, when crashes happen or when safety vehicles are on the track, or not so much just racing and driving the car and trying not to cause any issues. So I guess it could be just depending on the situation. But definitely a tough one to call. Obviously, I guess it's it is a rule that you have to have a spotter. But we've seen in the past where guys have radio issues, and I don't know that we've ever seen anyone black flag for it. So definitely kind of a ball and strike call, I suppose.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead with the question, Jordan.
Martin, I'm working on a story on Joey Logano, and I'm wondering, from your perspective, are you surprised that Joey Logano's not more of a fan favorite?
Not really. I mean, I think, he's been in a lot of altercations with a lot of drivers, so I guess that's probably part of that reason. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think he has his own approach, and doesn't apologize for crazy situations, I guess. But he does a good job, obviously, and wins a lot of races. So I don't know that he makes decisions in the race car based on how many fans he has and if he gets booed or not.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Claire B. Lang. Go ahead with the question, Claire.
Thank you. I love it that you're doing your Zoom from the boat. It's pretty epic, and it sort of, I think, speaks for who you are, that you're chill and you got life in perspective. How do you look at this weekend? You start 6th and you're 7 in points, 31 from the cutoff in your boat today.
Yeah, I feel good about it, honestly, to be clear. I mean, we were really strong in the spring Texas race, feeling like, the last, I guess, 2 seasons or whatever, we've been off a little bit of Texas and had some struggles. Went through this spring and felt really good about things, thought we had a shot at it, and ended up getting crashed on a restart. So, optimistic about it. I think James feels good about it, and really the next 2 weeks I feel good about. So we're not in a great position points wise. We need to make something happen, but definitely feeling like we've got that opportunity to do it and the potential to do it.
So you don't focus on the 31 points. That's just not what your team is all about. You don't over focus on the points.
Well, I mean, you can't really. I mean, it is what it is right now, and obviously we came into the playoffs without a lot of bonus points that typically we're used to having, and that's made it a little bit of a challenge. But again, definitely didn't run as well as we'd hoped to at Kansas, and so we really just we lost a little bit there. So got to make it happen. We got 2 weeks to do it, and our approach is just to try to, do the best job we can do and hope that we can get it done.
Good luck in the Bass Pro Shops, Toyota. Hope you catch a fish today. Thank you, man. Okay.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Mark Garrow. Go ahead with the question, Mark.
All right. Thank you. Well, Claire kind of grabbed my question there, is looking at Martin's outlook on the race at Texas. Are you aware at all, or is there somebody on your team that keeps you aware of what some of the other guys that are close to you in the points are doing, or you kind of just put them all out of your mind and just do your thing?
It depends on the situation, I think. This year so far through the playoffs, I don't think ever in one race at any point in time we've actually discussed points or where we were, or whether we need to do something different. We've been pretty much up until this round, we've been in decent position where we really didn't have to worry too much, obviously, and we were able to just focus on our jobs and what we needed to do there, and hope to obviously just hope to have the best day we could. So we've not been in a position yet where it's, coming to the end of the race and you need one spot or two spots, or, this guy, if he gets by, you're out or whatever. We haven't been in that situation yet. Obviously this round is going to be a little bit more tricky there. If we don't win one of the next two races, I'm sure there'll be a lot more talk about that.
How much did Joey winning kind of really mix things up in this round? Him sort of leapfrogging, some of these guys, even with a big playoff point.
Well, that's really what changes things up the most, is when you have a guy behind you that wins. And, that's just, that's part of, the way it is. So, that was only the first race. There's two to go. There's still a lot that can happen. And, you just got to go out and do the best you can and hope to put yourself in position to win a race.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Woody Kane. Go ahead with the question, Woody.
Hey, Martin, appreciate your time. You mentioned 2 weeks to go, so I wanted to skip ahead a week to Martinsville. With that kind of looming, with you having won the last two and led close to 600 laps there, does that give you even more confidence, or does it make you think, can't always count on what happened before?
It's always like in racing, it's always a little bit of both, right? You're always excited about, the opportunity to go to a place where you've been successful, especially recently. But it definitely doesn't guarantee, that it's going to go the same this time around. So you got to just, do your normal preparation and try to make all the right decisions. And then, Martinsville can be a wild, crazy race depending on how the cautions fall, especially towards the end. So, just take it one at a time. You race, one stage at a time, and just try to put yourself in the best position possible throughout the race, no matter where it's at.
Our next question will come from Jeff Megaliochetti. Go ahead with the question, Jeff.
Hi, Martin. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck this weekend. So you guys had a solid start to one of the prior rounds with the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation, having hometown heroes' names in the car, cancer survivors and whatnot. How proud were you of that endeavor, and what's next for the MTJF?
Yeah, that was really big deal for us, because with COVID this year and not being able to do basically our biggest fundraiser of the year, trying to find ways to keep the foundation moving forward, has been a challenge. So, I think the girls that work for us there, Lisa and Jill and Sherry, all have done a great job of coming up with new ideas. And typically that time of the year, we would do the steering wheel program, and we even had trouble trying to get those because they come out of Italy. So coming up with that idea was great, and it was really nice to see the support we got throughout the industry from the teams, the drivers, just everyone involved, allowing that to happen. So that was a huge deal for us, and very thankful for everybody's support.
And we're coming towards the end of one of the most unusual seasons in NASCAR history. What's the biggest lesson you're going to take from the 2020 season?
I don't know. I mean, it's it's been a crazy year, I think. I think for me, it's I'm obviously really just thankful to have the opportunity to do what I do and work with a great team. But I think from the standpoint of just stepping back and looking at our entire sport, I think looking at the job everyone did this year to come back, really be the first sport to come back, from the COVID situation and the shutdown and all that stuff, to be successful as the sport has been and really not run into any issues along the way. So really just a great job from the leadership standpoint of NASCAR, to make good decisions, and then for everyone to really buy in and make sure they did all the things that they were supposed to do, and I think, just looking at, being able to get through the season and the amount of time we did was really impressive. So, I think you learn to, when things like this happen, you learn to change on the fly, you learn to adapt. And I think everybody did a great job of that.
Thanks, Martin. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Chase Wilhelm. Go with the question, Chase.
Hey, Martin, thanks for joining us. So piggybacking off that with the 2020 season, what it's thrown at us, after Logano won last week, he talked about the ups and downs of getting acclimated with crew chief Paul Wolfe. What has that experience been like for you and James Small with everything that's happened this season?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different situation for us just because we worked together, the past couple of years. And, so it was really an easy transition from that standpoint. I think the biggest challenge that we faced is just not having practice. And, obviously there's been some things that James had to deal with along the way, being his first year as crew chief. So the communication part and, the way we work together, understanding each other, things like that, I feel like have, they really came easy. It wasn't like we were starting with a new person that I hadn't worked with before. So that was very helpful.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Our next question will come from Dustin Long. Go ahead with your question, Dustin.
Thank you. Martin, with less time at the track this year, I'm curious if you can give me a sense of perspective. Does that mean with having more time on your own, is that more time in preparing for the races, or is that more time like today where you're out boating and I'm guessing fishing? How is that balance? How do you strike that balance compared to previous years in the playoffs with this extra time and still with so much at stake?
I'd say really the approach isn't a lot different. I think we've definitely done more, preparation away from the racetrack, as far as, what I do. More simulator time, more, talking to James, more watching SMT stuff that he sends me, kind of more planning just because we don't have practice, whether it's talking to him or talking to, to my engineer about little things about the race car or the track that maybe we've been good at before in the past or need to work on from the last time. So I guess it's a lot more, a lot more talking and, things like that. Than it used to be. You used to have time to work out those details in practice. And, it seemed like every time you go to the track, no matter how many times you've been there, you'd always, you kind of pick up on something small, some little things that, maybe the crew chief or engineer didn't really understand. And you kind of, come up with these little things that will make the car work better and give them a better understanding of what you needed to be faster. So, it's really difficult without having that. And, I feel like it's more of an educated guess, and that's been a big challenge, I think, for everyone, especially.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Alex Andreev. Go ahead with your question, Alex.
Hey, Martin, thanks for your time. I guess you're just in such a unique Zoom location that I'm just kind of curious what you're up to. And are you boating? Are you fishing?
Both. Yeah, we're we're on a little vacation with a couple of friends and out cruising around on a pontoon and fishing a little bit. So yeah, just enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, well, and then I guess my follow-up is at this point, still being in the playoffs and trying to get into that Final Four, are you so used to sort of being in this position that you don't really get nervous anymore for, being down in points or whatever?
Yeah, I would say that's a good assumption. I think, I'm going to do the best job I can do. I know my team's working hard. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I feel really good about, our chances the next couple of weeks. And, I guess so for that reason, I'm not really, stressed or worried or nervous. I mean, I think, whatever happens is going to happen, and, worrying about it today is not going to change Sunday. So we're ready to go. I think our team's fired up and excited and, ready to, hopefully ready to step it up to the next level.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good deal. Well, Martin, thanks for taking the time to join us. Go catch some fish. Have a nice, relaxing day, and good luck in Texas.
All right. Appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.
Take care now.